Hey everyone, welcome back to Health Talks with Bokz. My name is Bokz. I talk about health on this channel. Continuing from last week's video on the trunk muscles of the core, and I want to go on to the hip and pelvic muscles of the core. Click the video, quickly see all those muscles so that you can continue this and let it flow quite nicely. Okay, let's see all those muscles of the core that make up the hip and the pelvic floor. So again, your core runs from your breastbone all the way around, wrapping around all the way to the level below your buttocks. All right. So last week we did the trunk region of it, hip bone to hip, breastbone to your hip. Now we're doing hip to the below your buttock region. All right. So remember, core is the center of the body, connects lower body to upper body, helps transmit forces from one part of the body to the other, and also takes a lot of strain off the lower back when it is strong. Okay, so because there's just way too many muscles within this group, I've decided that I'm going to group them into 5 different actions that they do. We're going to go through what those actions are and what the muscles are, and then I'll tell you which one is the stabilizer muscle. That is very, very important in stabilizing the hip region in order to allow other muscles to do its job, especially in activities such as walking and running. Okay, I'll also tell you the other muscle that is a culprit of lower back pain. So starting with the front of the hips, we're doing the hip flexors. Hip flexor muscles are muscles that sort of bring the leg up towards the trunk, sort of how your bicep is a arm flexor. So if this was your hip, bringing the hip towards the trunk, essentially, just using my arm as an example. That's its action. So in this group, you have your pectineus muscle, rectus femoris muscle, sartorius muscle. Then you have these other 2 muscles that are a culprit for lower back pain as well. The first one is iliacus muscle. The other one is psoas muscle. We generally group them together and call it the iliopsoas muscle. All right. So those generally flex the hip. Reason why it's a muscle of low back pain is because it also starts at the spine like the quadratus lumborum. The only difference is that it comes all the way forward over the hips in the front, so can also cause lower back pain because it is situated in the lower back pain in the lower back region as well. All right, so hip flexors bring the leg towards the trunk. Okay, next you have your hip extensors. It does the opposite of the hip flexors. It takes the legs backwards towards the trunk in the other direction. Okay, 2 main muscles for this is your biceps femoris, which assists in doing it, but the main big one is your gluteus maximus. That is your big buttock muscle, essentially that is what it is. The gluteus maximus is its actual name. All right, moving on to the sides. So moving the legs outwards away from the body is your hip abductors, okay? That's the term for it. So a few muscles in this group as well, all mainly situated in the buttock region. You have gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, piriformis and sartorius also do help in this action, but the main ones are gluteus medius, gluteus minimus, and before I forget, tensor fascia lata. Tensor fascia lata is another muscle that connects to your ITB, that beautiful band that everyone knows very well of. So all those muscles are up here in the hip, and they extend the leg sort of to the side, away from the body. The other one, the opposite direction, is the hip adductors, adductors. Okay, take the leg across the body. Okay, these are 4 muscles that do that. You have your adductor magnus, adductor longus, adductor brevis, and your gracilis. Okay, those are the 4 muscles that generally do that action. So in all those groups, those are the main muscles. Another cool thing that your leg does is rotate inward and outward, sort of like you screwing like a lid on a bottle or something. So using my arm as if it's a leg, going inward, outward and inward. So your leg can also do that. Most of the muscles that I already mentioned in the other 4 different actions do this role. Alright, so those are your hip core muscles mainly. The stabilizer muscle is your gluteus medius muscle. This muscle is very, very important in stabilization. If it can lead to lower back pain, very important to stabilize so that our hips can do the action that it needs to do. Generally works when you are walking, running, mainly when you are balancing on one leg in that time frame. So the way you'll know that it is weak is if you're standing on one leg and your hips don't stay level, one drops slightly. It will show that the leg that you're standing on is the weaker leg and the weaker glute and not the strong glute. Alright, so try that. It's called Trendelenburg's sign. So those are your hip region ones. Next you have your pelvic floor ones. I'm not going to go through the muscles of those, but your pelvic floor is literally the floor of the core. It's the muscles situated that like in a dome-like region that holds all the sexual organs as well as your bladder. Alright, so a lot of bladder muscles are what make up the pelvic floor. The transversus abdominis is also part of that pelvic floor. Very important to keep strong and strengthened throughout. If it is weak, you may have urination that leaks as well because those muscles are not nice and tight. Alright, so stabilizer muscles. Remember, stabilizer muscles are important because they need to stabilize the joint before the mover muscles can do their action. Otherwise, the joint is overworking. So training stabilizer muscles is just as important as training mover muscles. Okay, so those are pretty much all the muscles of the core. Next, I'm going to do a video on a few exercises you can do for each part of the body, or each part of the core rather, and I'll say which muscles that we are training in those regions. Okay, so yeah, take a break. Enough with muscles. Let's get on to doing more fun stuff like actual exercising in the next video. Have a great week, guys. I'll see you guys soon with another video. Bye. Sorry, allergies. But thanks guys for watching. If you want to see more videos, do click on one of them over here, or if you want to see my channel, do click on the little round thingy at the bottom of this page thing. Alright guys, I will definitely see you soon with a new video about my life, my journey, or health condition. Enjoy, hop on board, subscribe. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.